Very happy at this point to tell you that on the LegacyRetirementGroup.com phone lines is our United States Senator from the state of Ohio, John Husted. And first of all, welcome. Thanks for making some time this afternoon.
Chuck, great to be with you. Thanks for having me on.
I'm excited that you are here. I was just reading a story about you this afternoon. I'm proud of you. We had Congressman Latta out of Bowling Green who said, I don't want my salary during this shutdown thing, and you have added your name to that list as well. I think it is appropriate, it is honorable, and good job.
Well, you shouldn't be getting paid if you're a member of Congress if the federal workforce, your staff, and everybody else is not getting paid while they're still on the job. We should lead by example. Even though I voted 9 times to keep the government open, the Schumer shutdown continues, and I hope the Democrats will join me on this. They seem to want everybody else to work without pay, but they don't want to seem to go without pay themselves.
And when you say they, this is an intricate question, but you know, behind the cameras, behind the scenes, when everybody's just, you know, sitting around after session, whatever, and you're talking as human beings, I'm going to guess that you know in your heart of hearts, there are some Democrats who would love to just vote yes, move this thing forward, but they know the pressure from the crazy left is not going to allow it. Yeah,
well, that's exactly right. Well, first of all, 3 Democrats have already voted with us on this, so we've had 52 Republicans and 3 Democrats. So we have 55 of the 60 votes we need. And, of course, we would easily get the 5 remaining votes we need if Chuck Schumer would just allow them to do it, and if their party was not captured, politically speaking, by the radical left. And that's the bottom line. But, there are plenty of good people on the other side of the aisle that I know want to vote with us, but right now that's not where their party's going, and so they're supporting their leader, Chuck Schumer.
I don't know. Is there a feeling in the air after the past couple of days, after this wonderful transpiration in Israel? Is there any feeling that maybe some momentum might be shifting a little bit just as far as this whole anti-Trump mindset? So many people on the left do things simply because they just don't like the guy, don't want any successes to happen. Did anything change in the last couple of days where maybe there's some cracks in that plaster?
I wish I could report optimistically that there was, but I haven't seen any. As a matter of fact, Democrats won't even, many of them, some do, but many of them, including Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, the leaders, they won't even give President Trump credit. They won't even say his name and give him credit for what happened in the Middle East. Peace between the Israelis and Palestinians. They refuse to even acknowledge that he had a success there, and it's unfortunate. But look, this is political. It's 100% political. Chuck Schumer said in an interview last week, "Every day this gets better for us." Okay. What he means by they or us is the Democrats. He thinks that keeping the government closed down is good for the Democrats because the more chaos there is, the worse that is for the president and the incumbent party. And on CNN, one senior Democratic aide said, as long as the public perception is in their favor, the party will not concede short of planes falling out of the sky. So as you see from those quotes from the Democrats, they don't want this to end because they view it's in their political advantage. Who it's not beneficial to is the American people who are not being served, for the men and women of our military, first responders, air traffic controllers, families who don't get paid. They don't get paid. They're many of them are asked to work, but they don't get paid. And Chuck, we're not asking for a lot here. We're just saying, actually, we're asking Democrats to do something they've already done 13 times, which is to vote for a clean CR, just like they did under Joe Biden. For what? For Biden's budget spending levels to be in place this fiscal year until we can get agreement on some of the broader issues. So that's all that we're asking for. And still, we can't get the government open because Chuck Schumer demands it stay closed.
I think that reporter you were talking about, by the way, this is Senator John Husted joining us right now on the LegacyRetirementGroup.com phone lines. That reporter you were talking about is exactly right, but that's also an indictment because Mr. Schumer and those who are in line with him believe that, they are also basically telling you just how ignorant and uninformed the American public is. They are not understanding. Look, when the suffering continues, people start really paying attention to things, and they're going to see the obstructionist mentality that you are propagating. They're not going to remain ignorant to you forever. No,
they're not. The American people figure these things out because they're the ones that are suffering as a result of this. Like if you, for example, let's say you're a developer, you're trying to build a new housing project, you're waiting on a permit from the EPA, but the government shut down and you can't get it. I mean, these are the kinds of things that cause problems in real people's lives. And it's just a political game, and it needs to come to an end, and I'm hopeful that it will soon. Although I have no reason for that hope, based on the response that I've seen from Democrats today.
If it begins to look hopeless, is there any possibility that some COVID-esque type policies, at least maybe attempted for federal workers who aren't getting a paycheck, to get them, some sort of moratorium on evictions and things like that?
I think there'll be some things like the military, the Coast Guard. I think that the president is going to move some of the money that we had in the budget reconciliation bill to pay them, but it's only for this pay period. Like there's no more money to be able to do this in the long run. So they'll move some things around, but not everybody. Only certain groups of people where they're actually funding available to fund them. It's not right to do this. Like we have people that work in my office. Of staff people working in my office, they're young. They live in Washington, D.C., some of them, and they can't afford to be without pay, but they're going to keep working. They're going to keep serving Ohioans, my constituents, but they're not getting paid, and it's just needs to come to an end.
You and I have been talking for years. I mean, since Secretary of State days. On a personal level, how are you doing down there? How are you finding D.C.? Is there anything that you were surprised made you so happy, or anything that you can't believe made you so sad? What's the environment like for you?
Well, it's a great question. I'm an Ohio guy. I love living in Ohio, being in Ohio, and so being in Washington, 4 days a week, sometimes longer, is not exactly paradise, right? But it's purposeful, meaning that there are a lot of important things that somebody needs to be fighting for, and I'm willing to be that somebody on behalf of Ohio. And when we did the budget reconciliation package, and we cut taxes for working families. We gave them no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, cutting taxes on Social Security benefits, tax credits for working families, putting work requirements in under the Medicaid program for able-bodied, healthy adults to try to restore the sanctity of that program and the work ethic for America. These things are purposeful, Chuck, so I love fighting for those things. I love doing that kind of stuff, but Washington is not as friendly a place to be as Columbus or Dayton or any of the small towns that I have been in or lived in as I was growing up in Ohio.
You feel like you're earning your wings with the colleagues down there? I know you're the new kid on the block, relatively speaking.
Yeah.
Are they accepting you, and you feel like you're part of the team now?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Senator number 100, so I was the last one to come in when JD, just a reminder, JD got elected vice president. Governor DeWine and President Trump agreed that it would be a good idea for me to take the appointment and serve in the U.S. Senate. And so that's what I'm doing. And it's always an honor to be a servant because, we've talked about this. I have a servant's heart. My wife, my family have a servant's heart. We serve the Lord, number one. We serve the public, number two. And it is just great for us to be able to continue to serve the people in this capacity. So, it's a fight worth fighting. This country is worth fighting for. This is the greatest country in the nation. We're heading toward our 250th year of liberty and freedom. First country in the world founded on the idea of individual rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This is a country worth fighting for.
Well, I'm glad we've got you down there doing it. And by the way, before I say goodbye to you, I think you might want to file a suit against the Associated Press for the picture that they have with this article about you today, because seriously, I'm looking at your face. It looks like you're describing that garbage truck that Alec Baldwin ran into yesterday. That's the look on your face.
I haven't seen the photo. It's like the Time magazine one of President Trump. They even when they say nice things about you, they have to try to put the worst photo of you. Huh? Is that what you're telling me happened?
It's not a terrible photo. You just have a look on your face, and you've got your hands open as if you're, just came back from a fishing trip. But it looks like, it was the biggest garbage truck I ever saw, and I hit a tree. And it made me chuckle when I saw it. Senator John Husted.
Great stuff.
I know you got stuff to do. I appreciate you giving me a few minutes this afternoon. And next time you're in town, stop by. We're kind of a construction zone around here, but it's always good to see you.
All right. Thank you. God bless you.
You too, sir. Thanks very much.